The Promise of Four is a family-friendly adaptation of The Sign of the Four, featuring another exciting case for Sherlock Holmes and his second big adventure with John Watson. This version is designed for people of all ages, making it easy for everyone to understand and enjoy. To make the story more family-friendly, some character names have been shortened and certain parts of the storyline have been adjusted to be less scary and intense. We hope you enjoy it. In the year 1880, in a faraway land of India, there were two men, a British soldier named Johnny and an Indian man named Tom. One day, they heard about a rich businessman who would be passing by, carrying a box full of sparkling jewels and treasures. Johnny and Tom thought that if they could take the box from the businessman, it would make them rich. They managed to steal the treasure, however. The India police found out and began searching for them. Johnny and Tom hid the treasure in a secret place, hoping they could return for it later. However, the police caught up with them, and both Johnny and Tom were arrested. They were sent to a prison camp as punishment for what they had done. One day, a young woman named Mary Morstan comes to 221B Baker Street to ask Sherlock Holmes for help. She says, "My father disappeared 10 years ago. He was a prison camp captain on an island off the coast of India. I've been trying to find him, but I've had no luck. I even asked his only friend here, Uncle Sholto, but he said he hasn't seen my father since he left India." Mary continues, "For years after my father's disappearance, I started receiving a single pearl each year as a gift. Now, the person sending the gifts wants to meet me at the Lyceum Theater and said the meeting will bring justice for my father. Will you both come with me to meet this person?" Holmes is excited by this new mystery, and Watson cannot help but admire Mary Morstan's kind and gentle nature. So, they both agree to go with her to the meeting to find out more. On their way to the Lyceum Theater, Mary shows Holmes a map she found in her father's belongings. The map has a red cross and is labeled The Sign of the Four: Johnny, Tom, Sholto, and Morstan. Holmes immediately thinks this must be about treasure and wonders how Johnny and Tom are connected to Sholto and Morstan. When they arrive at the theater, a carriage is waiting for them. It takes them to a large house, where they meet a man named Thomas. Thomas explains that he is one of the two sons of Sholto, Captain Morstan's old friend from India. He says his father passed away 6 years ago from a heart attack. This catches Holmes's attention because it lines up with when Mary started receiving pearls exactly 6 years ago. Thomas continues, "Before my father died, he lived in great fear and never went out without guards. On his deathbed, he told my brother Ben and me that he and Captain Morstan found a treasure in India. My father brought the treasure to England alone. He even gave us some pearls to prove it. But when Captain Morstan came back from India and demanded his share, my father and Captain Morstan argued. During the argument, Captain Morstan had a heart attack and died. My father was terrified. He thought no one would believe his story and that he might get blamed for Captain Morstan's death. So, he asked his servants to take care of Captain Morstan's body, and he kept what happened a secret. As time passed, my father became very sick and weak. Before he died, he told us he shouldn't have kept Captain Morstan's share and instructed us to share the treasure with Mary. But just as he was about to tell us where the treasure was, he had a heart attack and died." Holmes is surprised. "Another heart attack?" Thomas nods. "Yes. My father was looking out the window and must have seen something scary. The next morning, we found a note near his body. It read, 'The Sign of the Four.' We didn't know what it meant." Thomas explains that after years of searching, his brother Ben has finally found the treasure hidden inside a secret compartment in their family house. "Mary, we've been sending you a pearl every year and now we want to give you your share. Soon, you'll be the richest woman in England." But Mary doesn't care about the treasure. She only wants to know more about her father's death and how it all connects. Watson isn't very happy with the treasure part, either, because Watson worries that Mary might think he likes her just for her money. Holmes, on the other hand, is deep in thought, wondering why Johnny and Tom haven't been mentioned yet.